My name is Rebecca. I am the community coordinator for Scotland for Code Club, and that just means that I work with schools and community organisations to try and get you to start Code Clubs in your own venues and in your communities. So hopefully at some point you've heard of Code Club, and if not, that's extra exciting because I get to tell you about it for the first time. And we will, there we go. So today, did I go one too far? Let's go back. Here we are. So really the idea behind Code Club is that young people and children get to learn to code, shape the future, and join a community of digital creators. The idea behind it really being that we consume a lot of digital media these days, but we would also like young people to be digital creators, not just consumers. And Code Club is here to help make that happen. So the aim of today is just to give you an introduction of Code Club, explain and highlight our impact on young people and educators, go over how we support you as Code Club, the organisation, go over our coding projects and free resources that you can also use in the classroom and in lessons, and if you're interested in it, how to register your Code Club, which thankfully is very easy. So what is Code Club? It's, like I mentioned, it's a global community of clubs that offer young people a safe space in which to learn, create, and develop a deeper understanding of the digital world. They run in schools, they run in libraries, they run in community centres, and they do really run all across the world. We have quite a few of them already here in Scotland. And I believe we have at least one Code Club on every continent besides Antarctica at this point in time, which is really exciting and does show that young people all across the world enjoy our resources, enjoy learning how to code and create with our resources. We are part of the Raspberry Pi Foundation, so if you've heard of it before, Raspberry Pis are these little tiny computers that were developed so that young people could mess about with code. And then off the back of that, the Raspberry Pi Foundation was founded with a mission to enable young people to realize their full potential through the power of computing and digital technologies. You might be familiar with some of our other programs as well, like AstroPi or Coolest Projects. And if you aren't, I encourage you to go check those out, as they're also really great programs. Code Club is one of the largest programs in the Raspberry Pi Foundation. As I already mentioned, we're all over the world, and we have hundreds of clubs across the UK. Thousands at this point, probably. What do young people get from Code Club? So as I mentioned, we want young people to be digital creators, and more importantly, we want them to develop the kind of skills that you're trying to foster in your classrooms as well, like learning how to problem solve, how to work together, how to be creative, and how to communicate with their peers and other people. A lot of the time in computing, there is a lot of that. There's a lot of problem solving. There's a lot of defining what it is you're trying to do in order to find your solution. And those are those skills alongside actual programming knowledge that young people develop at Code Club. They learn to work together with their peers. They learn to express themselves in new ways. And along the way, we always hope that they're also picking up some programming knowledge. This is a lovely quote that I really enjoy by a young coder called George, who goes to a Code Club. I'll let you read it for yourself, but I just think it's a really good example of how Code Club is not just about learning how to code, it's also about building confidence, it's about building self-esteem, and about expressing your creativity and ability. I always want to know what he did that he feels impressed people. And that is something that I also run a Code Club in my local library, and it's something I really, really enjoy, is actually hearing about what the young people are doing and having them show me, with someone tugging on my sleeve and going, "Can I show you my project?" is one of my favorite things. Oh, this happened last time. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick community story. we will just go to YouTube for it. So I hope I'm sharing my audio. Could somebody give me a thumbs up if they can hear the audio?
I think there's a button you press, Rebecca. If you hover towards the top, there's a button that says share audio. There's like a wee pop-out window, like a pop-out toolbar at the top of your screen.
In Teams or on the...
In Teams.
In Teams, excellent. Is it
I don't know
in...
It's kind of like a standalone floating window. When you're presenting, you get this kind of floating window.
Mine's not showing me that.
Okay, so in the share button, see the kind of the thing that you're sharing. When you scroll down, there should be an option to actually no, it should be say include sound at the top right in the share. So if you might need to
I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second.
Then if you press the share button,
sound. There we go.
There
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patience, everyone.
Bob is your mother's brother.
There you go.
I'd heard about Code Club. I will be totally honest, at first I thought it was a bit much for me. We're a small school, there's only 5 teachers, so we have to be really careful with our time. But actually, once I did have a look at it, it really wasn't as scary as I thought. Sit down, come and take a seat, everybody. Coders, you need to get yourselves onto a computer or an iPad. I started off small. I only had a few children to start off with, and now we have about half of our Key Stage 2 children have attended Code Club, and it's had a really positive influence on our school. Oh wow, look, you're designing what it's going to look like actually on the computer. That's awesome. I like the idea that the children can be imaginative. It's play, but it's learning at the same time. They might not even realise it, to be honest. They love the fact that they go home and play video games, and then when they're here, they're learning about how they're put together.
I like how you can create stuff with your own imagination, do whatever you want, really. I really enjoy making animations and working with other people and seeing what their ideas are.
So you've debugged your code, and now you've made it work even better. That's really good.
It's fun to mess around with the things that you're using and have a little fun with it.
It also makes you worry less about getting stuff wrong, because you always know there's a backup plan. It's amazing. Anything is possible.
Sometimes I just step back and I watch them all helping each other and working together. They're learning how to be a team, and some really key skills like resilience, perseverance, making mistakes, communication.
If this is what we can give the children so that they've got these tools now to go into their teens and their future careers, why would we not? And this is such a tool to being able to unlock that confidence.
I would never ever even think of doing things that I do now in Code Club. I've got much more confidence. You can do anything that you really set your mind to.
I actually was really struggling at school before he joined Code Club. He did one and he loved it, and he came out of school and he was so happy. He ran over to me and he's like, "Mum, guess what I've done today? I'm the youngest coder at school." It made such a difference to him, massively. It looks like this to start with, and then I can use the sliders to change what happens.
Her creativity and excitement, her joy for these programs, she's just the ambassador of it. How could you not be influenced by someone who's just out there looking for the best for their class, for the children, and making a difference? We're a small rural primary school in the heart of North Yorkshire, so if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Thanks everyone for listening to that. Excellent. I just feel like it's a much better, does a much better job of showing how it actually looks in a school and how educators feel about it than I could probably ever put across. So just a few interesting statistics for you where we do have evidence to show that you know, it does what it says on the tin. It improves students' computing and programming skills to be in a code club, their confidence in learning computing and programming, and also their interest in computing and programming. So, and we have recently also had additional research done by the University of Durham that showed that those softer skills I was mentioning, like confidence, like problem solving, also increase. Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers right there with me, but it was really positive findings that we had from that. So we don't just say that that's what happened. We do have the evidence to back up that this is what children get out of Code Club. In order to start a Code Club, if you wanted to start one that is extracurricular, you are in the best position as teachers in schools, as educators, because you need young people, which you have lots of at your school, hopefully, a club leader. So if you're keen to do it yourself, you could start a club, a venue, your school is perfect, and the Code Club projects that I'm going to give you a quick overview of in a little bit. I would suggest when you start a Code Club that you think about what's sustainable. Could you do it weekly? Could you do it every couple of weeks? Is once a month enough, or is that all you can commit to? So pick something that is sustainable. Don't go in guns blazing going, yeah, I'm going to do this every week, when realistically, actually, maybe, other things are going to come up that make that impossible. So try and pick an interval that works for you. Maybe say, you know what, we're going to try it for a term and then we'll see how we go. The only caveat to that is I would say a one-off event isn't a Code Club yet. So something that runs over multiple weeks is a Code Club. Use the hardware you have. If you came to a Code Along today, you would have noticed that some people were on Chromebooks, some people were on laptops. Some schools have a computer room where they have desktop computers, or you can use iPads. You may even have access to the microbits. If you were there right at the beginning of the call, Brian was talking about using the Code Club resources from Microbit. So you might have some of those and want a little bit of inspiration of what to do with those. And if you're not doing it as part of the class time, think about what's a manageable number of participants for you, what's a manageable number of kids. And as we saw in that video, you can always grow it. You can always invite more young people into your club. But if you're just starting out, if you want to start with a smaller number, that's completely fine. So our free coding projects, which I'm going to be running you through on the website in a minute as well, we've got them for loads of different programming languages. We've got them for different hardware options. They have options to create games, to create animations, to make websites, and they're really easy to follow. They have step-by-step instructions. They have debugging tips for where we know things might get a little bit tricky and young people are likely to make mistakes. And we do have a printable version of them, although I would say myself that just following them along, having them open an extra screen, an extra tab on your screen is actually probably the easiest way to do it. And we're constantly releasing new projects. So this is sort of a screenshot of what some of them look like. But I thought it would probably be easiest if I just show you where you can find them on the website and just give you a quick overview. So if you head to codeclub.org, you'll end up on our homepage. This is what it looks like. You'll see there's options for finding a club, for running a club, but we're going to head to start coding. So here we've got different options. So we have these things called paths, which is a collection of 6 projects that build up. You follow them one by one, and they build up in difficulty. So for example, in our Scratch path, you've got your introduction to Scratch, for example, which is for your completely new to Scratch learners, and it will take them through 3 explore projects. In this case, that's Space Talk, Catch the Bus, and Find the Bug. Then 2 design projects, which have a little less scaffolding. There's more freedom to try and do different things, where we've got Silly Eyes and Surprise Animation, and then 1 invent project, where you use all of those skills that you built up over the other projects and you make your own thing based on a design brief. So there's less scaffolding. It's just, okay, make this kind of thing. And they'll use all of the different things they have learned in order to make that. So whenever you go into a project, you'll see that it has on the side here the different steps, and you just follow along, and you can actually tick off what you've done along the way, so that you're not going to, clearly I played with this one before, so you're not going to get lost, and you can untick it as well. So it's nice and easy, and it'll often have little things to help you. So these are a lovely introduction to how you can use our projects. If you're looking for something else, if you just go to the projects tab, you can filter it by topic, you can filter by hardware. So like I mentioned, you could filter by microbit, and it'll give you all of our microbit projects, or you could filter it by Scratch, and then you get all of our Scratch projects. So you'll see there's loads and loads and loads to choose from. And a nice thing to do as well is to let young people loose on this site and say which one takes your fancy. You'll see some of them are labeled by level. So if someone's completely new to Scratch, maybe a level 2 or level 3 project is not going to be the right place for them to start, but it'll give you a good idea of what's available and what's an option. One thing that I like to do as well is to just look at the different things, try them myself, and pick up some ideas and some skills, so that when young people get stuck, I've got a bit of an idea of where I can go to look for a solution as well. There we go. We've also got loads of other resources. For example, if you sign up for a code club, if you actually start your own code club, you'll also get access to the club leader guide, which gives you handy information that you need in order to run a code club. We have an online self-paced Prepare to Run a Code Club course. We do live training webinars for code club leaders. We have community calls where you can connect with other people, other club leaders, and other people who are working with young people to get them interested in programming. We've got a Slack channel, a safeguarding module, FAQ articles, these other fun resources like printable certificates and a welcome sign and a register and things like that help with sort of the admin tasks of Code Club. And of course you have the lovely Code Club team that I'm part of, and you'll see in the photo a few other colleagues, and actually Sarah, who was on the code along this morning with me, is in one of those photos. So we're there to answer any questions. We do sort of engagement activities. There's lots of fun stuff that's going on all the time. So if you run a code club, you'll be in our newsletter and you'll get to know about all of those fun things. So if you did want to start a code club, like I mentioned, identify a club leader. That might be yourself, or you might actually have someone in mind where you think, actually, I have a colleague who's really into this stuff. They'd love to start a code club. You create an account on our website. That's step one. And then you actually, once you've created your account, you actually have to register your code club. So where I showed you, it says join a club or run a club, hit run a club, it'll take you through the steps of how to actually register your own code club. Once that's verified, you prepare to run your first session, you can try out some of the projects, start promoting your club, and then you just go and you start coding and having fun. Those projects that I showed you, you can just access them without an account. You can access them without registering a code club. So if you're looking for things to use just in your lessons, you can also just go ahead and use those. They aren't aligned with any particular curriculum links, but because they are so open-end, you can really go in, have a look, what looks interesting, what looks like it fits with what you're doing at the moment, and it's very likely that you'll find something that fits. If you've got any questions after today, you can email me directly. That's rebecca.gaha@raspberrypi.org. Or you can always get in touch with support@codeclub.org. In fact, there's even an email that's scotland@codeclub.org, and that goes directly to me as well. You can follow us on X. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So there's lots of different ways of getting in touch if you had any questions. But while we're here, do you have any questions now?